Hello everyone. Already we have finished part 1 and part 2 of the chapter number 5, that morphology of flowering plant. In part 1st we have discussed morphology of root, and in part 2nd we have discussed morphology of stem. Today this is part 3, and in this part we have to study morphology of leaf, characteristics of leaf, a typical leaf, the structure of a typical leaf. Then we have to see different type of leaves, that is simple leaf and compound leaf. Then we have to see modifications of leaf, and then we have to see variations of leaf, and that is different modification means we have to discuss, that is climber, and especially we have to give stress on specific modification of leaf, that is fillet, which has come many times in examinations. This is part 3, chapter 5, morphology of flowering plant. You all are familiar leaf. See, leaf is that arise at knot. This is usually a flat structure like this, and it develops on a knot, and that is it bears axillary bud in the axis of this. You can see this is a typical structure of people leaf. It originates, a very important point here is, originate from shoot apical meristem. So that was the apical meristem. A part of the apical meristem is left behind, which develop into, that is, leaves. So leaves develops from apical meristem. Remember it. These are arranged in acropetal order. Acropetal order means that is the larger and the older leaves will be at the lower portion, lower part of the stem, and the young and that is small size leaves, they will be here at the, that is towards the tip. Acropetal arrangement, acropetal order. The purpose, function, that is leaves are most important vegetative organ. They have to do photosynthesis, that is photosynthesis and transpiration. These are the two main functions of leaf. Is it right? Typical structure of, that is structure of a typical leaf. The leaves consist of 3 parts: leaf base, hypopodium, petiole, mesopodium, and lamina. You can see here, that is, if I see here, that is, this is a typical structure of the leaf. This is the node, that here this is the base, this is the petiole, and this is, that is the blade of the leaf. These are the typical structure of the leaf. That is base, where it is attached to the node of stem. This is petiole, and this one is the lamina or epipodium. And you know, in the axis of this there is axillary bud. In some cases, that is at the leaf base, a leafy structure is there, and this leafy structure is known as, what is this? Can you recall that this structure is called, that is known as stipule. What is this? This is called stipule. Is it right? We have to see detail of this stipule. Come to the next now. That is, we have to see one by one. Leaf base, hypopodium, that is, by this, with the help of this, it is attached to the stem, and that's why known as leaf base. Leaf base, it may have 2, that is lateral small leaf-like structures known as stipule. I told you right now. That is sheathing leaf base is found in case of monocot. What we mean by, in case of monocot, that this is sugar cane one, this is the, that is node, and here this is the leaf base, and this leaf base that cover a part of the stem, and then after this, that the leaf will start here. So that is known as, what is this? Sheathing leaf base, as is found in case of monocot. In monocot leaf base, that expands into sheath covering stem partially wholly. Either this is the stem that will be covered partially or wholly by this leaf base. In some leguminous plants, that is leaf base that will become swollen. It will become swollen like this, and this swollen leaf base, that is known as pulvinous, that is responsible for sleeping movement, as in case of cassia and in case of mimosa, that is touch me not plant. You know that plant sleeping movement is there, touch me not plant. So this activity is because of this swollen base, and this swollen base is known as, that is pulvinous. Is it right? Come to the next now, that is petiole. You know, petiole, that is in between the leaf base and that is leaf level, that is stalk-like structure. We join the leaf base with the leaf blade, leaf lamina, you know. Leaf with petiole is known as petiolate. This is the leaf with petiole, that will be known as petiolate leaf. Sometimes the leaf doesn't have petiole, that will be known as a sessile leaf. Sessile leaf. Okay. In lemon, petiole become winged and resemble to the leaf lamina modification. In lemon, important point, that is petiole has this winged shape and it resembles to the leaf lamina. In case of the third one, leaf lamina, epipodium or leaf blade, this is that is visible structure. A green expanded part of the leaf, and the leaf is having vein and veins, that is branches of the veins, veinlets. Generally they occur a middle prominent vein in leaf, usually known as midrib. With a typical structure of the leaf, you know that this is the leaf here like this. This is the mid vein, which is the most prominent one, and these are the other, that is side veins. This is petiole, this is leaf lamina, this one is mid vein, and these are that is vein and veinlets. What they provide? They provide rigidity to the leaf, and they provide, that is, vascular supply as a channel for transport of water, minerals, and that is food material. This is a typical good diagram you are seeing here, that this is the stem, this one is, that one is the stem, this is the node here we have, at node we have the leaf, that is, this is petiole. What is this at the node? This that is leaf base, this one is, and in the axis of base we have, this is axillary bud, and a small leafy structure may be there known as stipule. This is petiole, and this one is, that is leaf lamina. At the center we have, this is the mid vein, which is the thickest one usually, and these are the other, that is side veins, which will help in transport, or which functions as channel for transport of water and minerals. Is it right? Venation. You know, inside the leaf, that is, 4 channels are there just to supply water and minerals and to take food away from leaf to other part of the plants. That is, these are the vascular supply. As we have artesian veins in our body, in the same way the leaf is also having. The arrangement of veins and veinlets in leaf lamina or leaf blade, that is termed as venation. How these are arranged? It gives pattern in which the veins and veinlets are distributed on or arranged in leaf. Is it? And venation is of 2 types. This is an example of, this is the one mid vein, then these are the other side veins. Again they will divide, and ultimately a net-like structure will be formed. So such type of venation is called as reticulate venation. It is found in case of dicot, but a plant is there, dicot, the name is 𝕆𝕆𝕉 as an exception. This is dicot 1, but it doesn't have reticulate venation, it has parallel venation, sometimes used to come in examination. So here the veinlets they form, that is, the veinlets they form a network in lamina of the leaves, as in case of people, hibiscus, and so many others. The second one is parallel one. If you see the leaf of sugarcane or maize, here there may be, that is, one mid vein is there like this, but it's not very thick, but almost of the same thickness the other veins are there which run parallel to the, that is so-called mid vein. The same case we have in case of banana, in case of sugarcane, and in case of almost grasses, all grasses, that is monocot. Monocot they have parallel venation, but exception is there, as I told you. Smilex is monocot 1, but instead of parallel it has reticulate venation. You see the beautiful diagram. This is of reticulate venation, and this is of, that is, parallel venation. Parallel venation, and that is reticulate venation. Right? Come to the next now. Types of leaves. Very, very interesting one, very important one. Types of leaves. One is simple leaf. By this time we have discussed only simple leaf. The leaf in which leaf blade is not divided, or when incision divisions are there, when insist that incision they do not reach the midrib, that is, it has bud at the, that is, axil of petiole. Try to understand what we mean. Very important point. You see, this is the simple leaf like this. This is the leaf base, this is petiole, and this is the leaf midway, and this one is there. Here we have the axillary part. This is petiole, simple leaf. The lamina doesn't have any cut, doesn't have any incision, but sometimes, as in case of mustard plant, you know that this is the leaf here, and the leaf lamina, it has incisions like this. It has cut, it's not entire, but the incision, they do not reach to the midrib. This is the midrib we have here. Incision, they do not reach to the midrib. On other side, you see, if we have a leaf like this stem we have here, this is the node, and the leaf is like this, the leaf is there. This is the leaf. You have seen such type of leaves. That is here. Here will be that will be bud. That will be the petiole. And at the tip of the petiole, the lamina is there. So in this case also, that will be simple leaf. Or that will also be simple leaf like this. That from this, that is here. This is the petiole. This is the bud. And here, that is incisions are there in this case. But the incisions, they do not reach to the surface, the tip of the petiole. So this leaf will also be known as simple leaf. Is it clear to you? That is, incisions, if are there, they do not reach to the midrib, and in this case, that is, incisions do not reach to tip of petiole. Tip of petiole, important. Tip of petiole. Incisions, they do not touch the tip of petiole. Okay, leaf will be known as simple leaf. Can you come to the next now? Good. Now we have to say, that is compound leaf. What is there? If these incisions, they have reached to the midrib, or here these incisions, they have reached to the tip of the petiole. I can make it here. You see here, that is in this case, you can see in this case, that is compound leaf. This is the leaf, simple leaf, axillary bud, and these incisions, they have reached to the midrib now. They have reached to the midrib. Then such leaf will become, that is compound leaf. So such type of compound leaf will be formed from this type of leaf. In this case of leaf, what will be there? In this case of leaf, that is this common, that is this is the petiole, this is the tip of the petiole, and the incision of the lamina, they have reached to the tip of the petiole. So these two type of compound leaves are there. One is known as pinnately compound. This is one, and this is the second one, that is A, and the B, this one is known as palmately compound leaf. The leaf will become just like a palm. Is it clear to you? Come on now. The leaf in which leaf lamina is completely broken or divided into distinct leaflets, these structures are known as leaflet now. These are leaflets. And that is known as compound leaf. The leaf has incisions which reach the midrib, or that we can add here, or reach to the, that is tip of the petiole. Incision, they have reached to tip of petiole. This is important addition. This, that is petiole. So two type of leaves we have. Can you summarize it? Pinnately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf, you see, this is the petiole, and that was the midrib. That is incision, they have reached to the midrib here. Will be known as leaflet. What is this midrib? Important. This midrib is known as rachis. Midrib is known as rachis. So can you differentiate? Rachis is found in pinnately compound leaf. In case of palmately compound leaf, we do not have rachis. In case of neem plant, in case of rose plant, and so many other examples, you know, in case of neem, in case of that is we have neem, and that is rose plants. Such type of leaves are there. Much more detail is not required. Subdivisions are there in this. Palmately compound leaf, leaflets are attached to the common point, that is tip of the petiole, and the rachis is absent. Important one here is that will become just like a, that is palm, like this, and as in case of that is silk cotton. This example of silk cotton. In this also we have subdivisions, but no need of this. You can differentiate easily. But remember, this we cannot call as leaf. Can you tell me? This leaflet cannot be called, because if this is leaf, it must have axillary bud. The characteristic of the leaf is, that is, this is the axillary bud. This whole structure is leaf. This whole structure is leaf because axillary bud is here. This leaflet we cannot call as, that is, leaf. Why? Because it doesn't have axillary bud in its axis. Come to the next now. Example, simple leaf. Yes, this is base, this is petiole, these are stipules, this is the mid vein, these are the side vein, this is simple vein. The simple leaf may be like this, as I told you. This is petiole, and here this one is the leaf lamina. This is also example of simple leaf. This is pinnately compound leaf, which will be formed from this. That is this leaf lamina incision. Actually, this is the leaf. This is one leaf, but here the incision they have reached to the mid rib. What is this? That will be known as, that will be called as rachis, and that will be known as petiole. That how this leaf will be formed? Such leaf will be formed from a leaf like this, as I told you in detail. That is, this is that is simple leaf. That here leaf lamina. Here is the axillary bud. Now the incision will be there, and the incision that have raised to the tip of the petiole, that is tip of the petiole, and it has become permanently compound leaf. Is it clear? Okay, good, very good. Come to the next now. Phyllotaxy. You know, we have lot of diversity in angiosperms, and so the arrangement of the leaves that also differ from plant to plant. That is, plant species, they have different type of, that is, arrangement of leaves. The phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on plants. You go to the nature, you must have seen, that is, in case of China rose, in case of sunflower, the arrangement of the leaf is different from the arrangement of leaf in case of neem. So here, that is, arrangement of leaves on stem or its branches is called phyllotaxy. Three important, that is, arrangement we have. One is, that is, alternate phyllotaxy, opposite phyllotaxy, and whole phyllotaxy. As the name indicate, that is, a single leaf arises at each node. You see here, this is the stem, this is node. That is, one leaf arises in right direction. That other leaf that will be on left side. The third leaf will be on this side. The fourth will be on, and you know that these are arranged in acropetal manner, is it? That is, large leaf will be downward and like this. So each node is having one leaf in alternate manner, right, left, right, left. Opposite, pair of the leaf arises at each node. Pair of leaves, it may be like this. This is the node. That is, a pair of leaves on this side, like this. Right? This is known as opposite phyllotaxy, as in case of Calotropis and guava. That is, two leaves on one node. Whole phyllotaxy, in case of Nerium, that is Canaire and Alstonia. These are very popular plants. That is, at one node, this is one node, that is, more than two leaves will arise, and they will make a whole-like structure like this. That it will be known as whole, as in case of Alstonia and in case of Nerium. Is it right? Come to the next now. That is, now we have to see modification of leaf. The purpose of leaf, function of the leaf is photosynthesis, and that is gaseous exchange. This function will be done by a typical leaf, normal leaf. Generally, they are responsible for photosynthesis because these are green, and that is, they have stomata which are responsible for gaseous exchange. But sometimes the leaf will be modified because it has to adapt itself according to its environment when the conditions are little bit unfavorable and in which the typical leaf cannot survive. Therefore, the leaves get modified and they perform some other functions. Sometimes they have to prepare the food, but they have not to store the food. But in some cases, the leaves have to store the food also, storage of food. Sometimes they have function of protection of plant, or sometimes they have that is to support the plant, and they have that defense mechanism also. They have to support the plants. So different type of modifications which are found in leaves. One is that is leaf tendril. You see, very interesting one. In case of 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕼, what is there? See, in case of 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕼, this is known as wild pea. It's like this 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕼. That is, this is the node. Let this one is node, and here that this is one leaf. Let this is the other leaf in this case. No. Then here that is in some cases that the complete leaf will be modified into tendril. Complete leaf will be modified into tendril. Leaf tendril modified into wild pea. While in case of pea, what is there? In case of pea, that is garden pea, this is node. Here we have a foliaceous, that is stipule, and here there will be leaves. This is pinnately compound leaf. These are the, that is petioles are there. Sorry, that leaflets are there. And in this case, some of the upper leaflets will be modified into tendril. So in pea, some leaflets are modified. Leaflets are modified to tendril. Is it leaflets modified to tendril? While in this case, wild pea, complete leaf is modified into tendril. Complete, that is leaf, the whole leaf is modified to tendril. Is it right? Modified to tendril. In case of spines, leaf spines, you are familiar. In case of cactus, you have seen opuntia. The leaves, they have become spiny just to reduce transpiration, and that protection also. In case of onion and garlic, that is they have stored food, the leaves have become fleshy, and because they have stored the food, that's why they have to modify it. Okay. Come to the next now. We have to see now that is one more important modification, very interesting one, that is known as phyllodes. What is there in case of Australian acacia? See the typical plant. The leaves are small and short-lived. I can that is give the detail here. Let this is the plant here. See, this is the leaf base. This is the petiole, and let this is the, that is here we have that this is the pinnately compound leaf. Actually, that was the actual one. Here the leaflets, these are short-lived, means they will fall down. When they will fall down, how the photosynthesis will be done? Right? Are you getting my point? Therefore, in this case, the modification is there. What happens, dear children? That here this is the stem, here this is the leaf base. This petiole that becomes leaf-like structure. Petiole have become leaf-like structure, and at the apex of this, we may have ephemeral short-lived these leaflets. So this modification is called, that is phyllodes. Phyllodes means petiole got modified into leaf-like structure because the actual leaf are small and short-lived, and function of the photosynthesis is done by, that is, it's not written here, that is, I can say here, that is petiole. Can I write? Petiole, these are modified to leaf-like structure, and they will do functions of photosynthesis. Why? Because these are green in color. Because the actual leaf, they cannot do this function. Okay. Come to the next one now, that is insectivorous plants. You know insectivorous plants, that they have to catch the insects because these are found in soil where there is deficiency of nitrogen. To compensate this deficiency of nitrogen, they have to catch insects, and to catch insects, their leaves are being modified. Leaves are being modified so that they can catch the insect. One particular example, some examples we have, one is pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, bladderwort, and drosera. I can give the detail of one. This is pitcher plant. You are seeing that the leaf lamina have become this pitcher-like plants. Pitcher. Here the insect will enter inside and will be trapped, will be digested. Here in this case of pitcher plant, what is there? That is, this is the leaf base. Leaf base become, that is, this is base, leaf base, that become leaf-like. The petiole have become, this is petiole have become tendril-like, and the leaf lamina that has become this, that is picture-like structure. What are you seeing here? Picture. Okay. Come to this point also. This is phylloid, as I told you. This is petiole. The petiole has become green and that is flat, that is leaf-like, and this is known as, that is phylloid. This is part 3, in which I discussed morphology of leaf. Thank you very much.